Riley the Nerd here, and today we are in the hobby room because this thing that I'm about to review is way too big to fit in my normal review sheet. So I decided to use this one. This is my dad's hobby room. He uses this for taking pictures. And also, please go subscribe to Model Makers Union if you are into models. And my dad has hit 1,000 subscribers, so go check him out if you really want to. So hopefully he sees that I'm in this. So if he ever sees this video, yeah, Dad, I'm using your hobby room. Don't be mad at me. But today we're gonna be taking a look at Man-Bat, baby, Man-Bat. Batman Arkham Knight, Man-Bat. So I got this figure yesterday, matter of fact. Got this at my local comic book store. Comic book store is the... I'm just gonna turn it this way so you can't see it. So you can. I'm just gonna turn that way because sometimes there's a glare of my screen and it's just really goddamn annoying. But as you can see, Man-Bat here from Arkham Knight. Haven't played Arkham Knight. I have Batman Arkham Asylum, finished it. It's probably one of the most awesome Batman games I've ever played. And Batman Arkham City, I played it once, haven't finished it. I replayed it, and I'm trying to finish it, but I haven't got Batman Arkham Origins or Batman Arkham Knight, because I don't have a PlayStation 5 or 4 I don't even know if they make the Batman games for the PS5, I'm pretty sure they do. But anyway, got this guy at my local comic book store. So if you are interested in picking this guy up, please go check out your local comic book store if you have it, or whatever, or wherever this guy might be in stock. And there's a price tag right here, $35. I had enough money to buy this guy. Man-Bat is one of my favorite Batman villains, and I'm a big Batman fan. And also, Man-Bat was always teased in the Batman Arkham games, especially Batman Arkham City, where you're in the church. There is a little Easter egg where there's a nest and some blood and some rats, and everybody thought that it was Man-Bat or whatever. But we never actually got to see Man-Bat until Arkham Knight, and everybody was scared shitless of him because he had a nice jump scare, and then it's like a side mission. But anyway, let's look at the packaging. As you can see, it's very large. It's very long indeed. But as you can see, basically, there's a Man-Bat here. It doesn't say on the bottom here. And it also kind of has that look of the kind of the Batmobile in that game, or the Batcomputer. On the side here, you have like a hologram of Man-Bat with, number 11, whatever. On this side, it's kind of like the Batcomputer. You got a really nice hologram of Man-Bat there. You got Red Hood and Professor Pig and Azrael. So those are the three characters that you can get. I'm pretty sure you can get Batman as well. And then you also have the Batman Arkham Knight logo. Wish they had Scarecrow. I don't know if they have Scarecrow. If there was Scarecrow, I would probably get him more than Man-Bat. So who knows. But anyway, let's move on to the actual figure, because we've been spending 3 minutes and 43 seconds on it. Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's move on now. Okay, so let me bring in Man-Bat. By the way, if you are hearing me over you or on top, that's why, because I'm standing up, because the table's a little bit too high for me. Not too high, it's like up to my chest, but I don't like to sit. It makes me sound low. But whatever. So here he is, Man-Bat, and yet again, you can't even see him. He's not even in frame, and hopefully he will stand. Here he is, Man-Bat. Quite a large figure indeed. Very standard action figure size. It's just that these wings here are pretty damn big, I do say so. But I love how this guy looks, especially in the game. I think they captured how he looked in the game very accurately. Just some of the colors don't really match up, but that's okay, because that's supposed to be an accurate representation of Man-Bat, but it is pretty damn accurate to the game. Now, as you can see, he does have the little tubes all over, defibrillators, whatever you call those. So, spoilers for Batman Arkham Knight. in the side mission, after the jump scare, you can unlock the side mission, and you can track Man-Bat down to his lab, and he was testing an experiment on bats to cure his hearing, or to cure deafness, because bats have really good hearing, and then he turned into this monstrosity. And I love how my dad's reaction was. Like, we were at the comic book store, and I was like, okay, I'm getting Man-Bat, and he's like, ew! That's disgusting. I'm like, yeah, that's the point, my guy. And then over here, we have some of the more, like, tubes on the side. And also, he has a hospital band on his wrist here. And also, he does have some... And also, he does have some scabbing, and that looks like a heart. I don't know if that's intentional. And then also, he has some more wrist pieces here. And some more tape as well. Awesome. And he has the breathing tube around his head. And on the back here, it's just a loose thing. And you also have some more scratches there. And also, he also has some loose flaps, like loose pieces of skin on his arms, on his legs, and also, yet again, to the back. If you move these wings, he does have a flat tail, and more pieces of flat skin on the bottom. And I really love the amount of detail on this guy. It's a perfect thing that I love it very much. And also, if we can get a nice zoom in on the head sculpt there. Get a nice zoom in on the head sculpt. Awesome. I love how this guy looks on the head sculpt. As you can see, he has this very wide open mouth with some more, like, it's a little red in there and pinky for that ear effect. And he also has some more pink up on the head. And he does have some just plain white dead eyes. And also his shoulder pads are kind of standing out. And then you have his neck. Let's actually move to the wings. So I'm just going to leave this down here. I'm just going to have to put them down, actually. My stance all messed up. But let's look at the wings here. The wings are very large, as you can see. And they also have this great wing detail with all the veins and the weird. And I also love how his hand actually turned into the wing. And then you could see just that one claw. So you can see that his fingers actually turned into the wings. And then you also have some more wing detail in the back. If I can move that, bam, more wing detail. Very pinky, but the wings are way more darker. And then you also have like the spots there as well. It's a little distracting, but not too distracting. I think it's I'm pretty sure this one's a little bit more distracting than the other one. But yeah, for articulation on this guy, very limited, but I mean, what can you do with a Man-Bat figure? I wasn't expecting too much articulation to this guy, but let's move on. Oops. Let's move on to the head. For the head here, he has a ball joint at the head, very limited, but it can move side to side as well, but it's very tight. And then you can also, then he can also look up that far. It's a little tight as well. What I would do, if your figure is this tight with the head, and especially the ab area, the crunch there, I would recommend heating up with a hairdryer. Heat that plastic up with a hairdryer, and then it would be soft enough for you to bend it. It was especially bad with my figure because it was in a permanent crunch. So I just heat up that plastic, just so I let you know. And also, especially with the tubes as well, since they are not rubber, they are actually kind of brittle plastic, with also the tube on here as well. That is very brittle, and I could see that easily breaking off over time, especially these here. So just be careful when you're posing the figure. And I also was kind of, especially for the ab crunch, so we'll get to that actually now. For the ab crunch, kind of have to move the wings a little bit. But for the ab crunch, what I would recommend is that you would take your thumb here onto the actual thing. Don't do it here because you can break it and the pieces can get stuck in the joint. But I would do is just like slightly do that, and also kind of make sure that your thumb's out of the way, and then bam, you have the ab crunch. It's very tight as well, but it's not overly tight as it was before, so awesome. And as you can see, more loose skin flaps under here, And for the legs here, he does have some leg articulation as well. So he can kick that far, and it can move back that far. The tail here, it is not on a hinge joint at all, so it doesn't move. But as you can see, it can kick. He can kick that far, can move back that far. And then you also have a thigh swivel, and also it kind of breaks the sculpt a little bit. So I just keep it like that. And he does have a bend at the knee. And he also does have a foot. He also has a bend at the foot, just the foot, no articulation. And I also like how they actually sculpted the foot. Instead of being flat, you actually have, and you can also see the DC Comics thing there. But if I turn it to the side here, you can see how it is sculpted at a, like, arc. But that's awesome. But it also makes them a little bit challenging to stand, but you just have to bend over and get the wings in the right position. And that should be good. And also, I don't know what is that though. That just came off. I don't know where that went. Hold on. Let me look at the figure. It fell off from, it should be somewhere. Huh. Weird. Okay, I don't know where that piece came from, but I'm just going to leave it there and maybe we'll find out. But he also has a foot. He actually has a pivot. I did not expect this figure to have a pivot until I was actually testing the articulation, and his foot actually has a pivot. It doesn't do much. It actually kind of does just a little bit, so you can get him into decent poses. And I also wish he came with a flight stand, or like a flight stand, a clear stand with a clear base and a clear claw, so he can grip over, and then he can actually look like he's flying over. And for the actual wings themselves, they also have a rotation, so they at the shoulder, so the wings can move back that far and move back and move forward that far. He does have a hinge joint at the thing, and also he does have these metal pegs in his wings. If you can see that there, those are metal. And also for now, the wings are a little loose, especially this one. So I don't know how you're gonna tighten that joint up. If you kind of have to spread it apart really well, like that, yeah, even then it's not, this wing is doing way better than this wing right now, which is a little sad, but I'm not even gonna display him like that. I'm just gonna display him like that anyway, so I don't really know, and there is no bend at, and there is no bend at the elbow, no wrist articulation, just the metal joints in the upper arm here. And he does have no bendy wire, but it is a soft rubber. But I can see the wings actually being kind of damaged over time, being folded up in the packaging, or just over time in general. I would expect that the wings would have some, some metal wires like in the fingers or in the bottom here somewhere, but no. But, it doesn't really matter. For $35, you are getting quite a lot. There is some people out there that are like, I wish there was this had more articulation, more accessories. He doesn't have any accessories. But I mean, what could you want from a Man-Bat figure? I mean, I think that they did an awesome job on this guy. They did an awesome job of recreating him just like in the actual game itself. And I don't think they could have done it any other way. But, and also, I don't really mind there's no elbow joint. Because, I mean, if there was an elbow joint, it would look really weird. The wings would have to be in some weird metal plastic. And it would just look it doesn't look natural. It just looks weird. But it doesn't, and also, but it doesn't restrain any posability in the wings or the arms. I think these, I think the in and outs and just the rotation is basically what you need for the wings. But I would have liked to see a little flight stand with a cloth for him to actually look like he's flying. But that's okay. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe. I don't care what you do, but you guys know what time it is. So, bye guys.